We are live. Excellent. So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. First of all, I want to say very much thank you for everyone that's here, dedicating your time to not only FormFest 25, but for this particular session that Tom and I are really, really excited to talk about. The team has been very hard at work to bring this feature set and feature to you. And we're really excited to share this with you and to help everybody answer questions and hopefully solve your business processes and problems. So for today's session, you are at Advanced Document Generation, Power Your Processes. And I am Paul Lazatin is how you pronounce my last name. I've had the pleasure of working at FormAssembly for about 7 years now and have met many of you in the partner channel, either virtually or in person. And so I want to thank you again for your continued advocacy and support. I still do work on the partner team, and I'm always happy to answer any questions. And I will go ahead and pass the mic over to my colleague Tom and my co-presenter.
Yeah, hi everyone. Thank you for attending this session. So, yep, I'm a solutions engineer here at FormAssembly. I've been here for 3 years, and I'm excited to show you the new document generation step that you can add to your workflows.
Excellent. All right, thanks, Tom. And moving right along. So this is a little preview of the scenario that we've set up, which is an events and marketing company. And so for today's agenda, we decided to call it a set list to kind of be on theme. What we're going to be doing today is walking you through a common scenario of an example company. Again, it's an events and marketing company. And then we'll go ahead and move on to their use case, and we'll be delving into that a little bit. And sharing some common challenges and problems that really we see across multiple industries. We'll then go ahead and share what our value proposition and our solution is that's tailored to solving these challenges and these problems. And then I'll go ahead and hand it over to Tom, and so he can walk you through advanced document generation so you can see what it looks like, what it feels like, what it might look like in your instance, and start envisioning some of the ways that we might help your company partners solve and improve these business challenges and processes. And then, of course, you're going to hear this a lot from me and Tom. Thank you. Thank you very much for the time. We also will leave some time for Q&A at the end of this session. So I'll go ahead and move on. And let's start rocking out. All right, so today's scenario is Horizon Events is our customer, and they are an event and marketing planning company. What we're trying to do today is make sure that their Spring Fling 2025 event goes off without a hitch and is very successful. We want to avoid having this devolve into a fire festival situation, if any of you all are familiar with that. But what we're trying to do for them is make sure that they're able to collect any respondent information during the registration process for their festival attendees. Again, the festival has a lot of variables going on. They've got live music, they've got vendors, they've got food, they've got games and multiple stages for artists. And really what we need to do is ensure that the information is collected securely, connected to the places that we need to connect them for being effective, and then generate a confirmation receipt for all of these attendees. And then so that's the scenario that we're working with here for this company. I'll go ahead and move on. Here's the use case that I was talking about. What we're looking at today is we're going to need workflow to process responses. Afterwards, we're going to create a confirmation letter. And then we're estimating about 100 generated documents based on all the constituents that I just listed. And again, this is really common from when I talk to people, but we're estimating over 100 generated documents are needed. And additionally, we're going to want those files to be stored and sent to all of our vendors via email. So that's the tee up for the use case. And then here's our value proposition. What we want to help empower you to do is make your processes efficient. And what that really means for me is disseminate the information after collecting it to the groups that really need it efficiently and accurately. And again, here in the format that's going to be most useful to those groups. The second checkpoint that we're looking at here is data accuracy. When we talk to customers, sometimes the information that gets put on the PDF that they're generating can be incorrect. And this is going to prevent that. And the last checkpoint here is time to value. Customer time to value is accelerated through FormAssembly's ability to collect the data you need and then utilize it in critical document generation, ensuring brand consistency. And really, with our platform, you can get up and running and up to speed in minutes and not weeks. So that's the value proposition that we're hoping to solve these challenges for. And here's the proposed solution. You see that we've broken it out into 3 bullets. The first one is document template. We're empowering you to bring in your own templates into a FormAssembly, leveraging your branding. I have yet to run into a scenario where I can't help a customer or a partner meet their branding requirements. So that's the first bullet point in our solution. The second point is going to be data mapping. Again, we're going to offer customers this ability to map the data to exactly where you want to get it, so we can then use that data in an actionable way to present it in a document format that's useful and efficient for everybody, which leads to that third bullet point, document generation. We can present a PDF of this document with the response data populated. And then we can send that to third-party applications for any storage and email it to respondents for confirmation and making sure that we are really all aligned in an automated way. So I will go ahead and pass it over to Tom for a demo.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Paul. So let's dive in and see this in action and how you would set this up in your workflow to generate the documents that you need. So bear with me, I will share this. Okay, cool. So I believe you should be able to see my screen right now. Okay, cool. So as mentioned, Horizon events need to set up this event registration form to get people to register for the event and provide back a receipt, which is going to be a PDF letter, which will describe the event, the type of ticket they chose, and it'll obviously have their branding on however they've made the document. So what we've done here is we have a basic workflow, and we have our first form, which will be asking for the person's details and the type of ticket and events they want to attend. On submit, there will be displayed a thank you page. Then the flow continues to our generate document step, which I'll come back to in a moment. It will then email the created document over to us. You can see here we now have the option to attach the document generated to the email that's going out. I'm also storing that document in a Google Drive, and I'm also updating a Google Sheets with the information. So then someone else who maybe doesn't have access to the FormAssembly, but they want to check the list of attendees, they can check that list as well. Every response coming through, we'll note that down. So returning back to the document generation step, as mentioned, it's a new step that you can add in your workflow. You'll see it's called document here. And once you've added it, it will give you the configuration window like so. You can rename and put a description so anyone using your workflow knows exactly what it's for. And then for the configuration, you'll upload your template. So before you add your template, you need to put in your placeholders. We're going to call them tags, and that'll be wherever you want to insert the data from your form into your document. So I've got that document here. This is what I eventually want to be created, but obviously personalized to every respondent. So in order to add the placeholders for the information that will be inserted, we use this syntax of the double curly braces, and then we can give it whatever name we want, providing there's no spaces. So you can see here, I would like today's date here, attendee's name there. Then coming down the document, I want to have the ticket type that they've chosen, the quantity, any special accommodations, and a unique confirmation number, which I'm going to use the response ID alias for, as I know that's unique for every response that's done. So then that way I know there's no duplicates of the tickets sold. Our document generation also allows for conditional content to be added to the document. So we can add an if tag, give it a name, and then we can set conditions on whether or not to show anything within that tag. So we opened the tag here, and then we've closed it here, meaning any content within those two will only be shown or added to this document should a condition be met, which we'll set in a moment on the right-hand side. And you can see here, it's pretty obvious. I only want to show that when the VIP ticket type has been chosen. And likewise, if you're a VIP, you will be able to choose events on my form, and we're going to loop through those. So we also allow for looping information. So if you have a repeated field in your form, in this case, we're going to be choosing an event. For the amount of events that we choose, it will add the additional line. It will loop through, again, giving you a dynamic document at the end that will be generated. And then the rest is this all standard part of the documentation. So I've added my tags for everything that I need to be dynamic in my final document. When we upload that in this step, so I could click change template, but I've already uploaded it, the workflow will scan the document to find those tags. So you can see here, it found my today's date, the name, the type, etc., all along here. And it now allows me for one-to-one mapping. And we can use formulas. So you can see here, I'm using local today because I want today's date to be in there, meaning I don't need to put a static date here. It can be whatever the date is that it's submitted on. I'm then using form fields to fill in certain information. And again, another formula here, which is the confirmation number. As mentioned, we can utilize aliases that we have available, and I'm using the response ID from that first step to make sure that it's a unique confirmation number that's being shown on a document. Coming further down, the workflow was also able to find that if tag that I put in there that I named VIP, and that's my conditional content. So I only want to show that if ticket type equals VIP. So if they've chosen general, then this will not be shown on the final created document. So that's a nice thing to add to your documents, to be able to conditionally and dynamically change what is put into the document. That's the first step. But then I also showed you that we had the loop. And as I mentioned, our event section on the form will allow for you to choose multiple events. So if you choose one, it will add one to the document. If you choose two, two, and three, and so on. So that's a repeatable section. And here is where we can put that information. So you can see here that I want to put the event that they've chosen into that event variable on the document I showed you here, just to give you a bit more of a visual. So here will be the name of the event that they've chosen. And I want to repeat that however many times they repeat the events to attend section. And that's it. So now we are able to complete this flow, and that information will be taken, thank you page shown, and then we'll get our email, copy, and send to the Google Drive. So I'll go through that now. So I'll open this, and I shall open this as well. This is my attendee list that we're expecting to add information to. So we've only got Homer so far. And here's my form at the beginning of the workflow. So here, we can put new person. And they will also be a VIP, just to show the conditional content will be shown. Only need one ticket with no special accommodations. As I've chosen VIP, this conditional section has shown. You'll see here, if it's not, I don't get to choose events. We'll choose a VIP, and now I can choose up to 3 events. So I've limited this to be 3. So I can say, yep, I'd like to have the concert, the game land, and the art exhibit. You'll notice I cannot repeat that no more. I've chosen my 3. So now I'll submit my form, and in the flow, we said it will be a thank you page. Again, this could be a redirect, but I've chosen a thank you page. And now in the background, it's going to do the rest of the steps. So we've got the email will be generated and sent, a copy to the Google Drive, and the attendee list. If we have a look here, you'll see Marge has been added to the attendee list with her confirmation number and ticket type. And if I go to the responses page of my workflow, you'll see this responses come in with a complete status. And if I scroll down, you'll see all the steps that have gone successfully. And you can see I can download a copy of the document here. This is also attached to the email that will be sent out. You can send it to Salesforce as well. And you can see here, here's our document that's been generated with the information provided on the form. So we've got the name, we've got the ticket type, how many, and then the confirmation number there as well. We've got our conditional content here, as they did choose VIP attendee, and the events that they've chosen. And this, like I say, we've sent a copy via email with the subject line and everything here. So that would be sent also to Marge. So they've got their copy to attend the event on the day. So hopefully that gives a brief overview, but also sparks some inspiration on how useful the document generation step's going to be to add that branding to certain documents that previously wasn't available. And yeah, any other questions we can get to at the end. So I'll pass this back to Paul.
Hey, thank you very much, Tom. That was amazing. I love the branding with the sunglasses. And so it's a great example of that. That was great. First time I've seen that. And so thank you for the demo. And what we'll do is we'll go ahead and tie everything together here in the summary slide. So really these 4 check marks: customization, precision, generation, and connection. Really the main takeaway that we want you to leave here with today is this advanced document generation feature allows you to generate all of your documents at scale and then gives you full control over where and how you send it. You know, to Tom's point, a couple of other use cases that I want to share with you are customized response reports for invoices, requests for information changes. You just saw an event management use case. We can use this for material generation and marketing. We can generate documents for student records, course records in higher education, course materials. Administrative reports is another great one. Employee onboarding for any internal documents, equipment requests, changes in information, and expense requests. And then I'm going to wrap up the thank you theme here for our friends in the nonprofit space. Personalized registration. Volunteer profiles can be sent out here. Schedules, and then appreciation materials. So there's the thank you part. You know, we really want to make sure that we're telling everybody thank you and able to generate a beautiful document that conveys that information. And so that is the summary of what we presented today. And now we'll go ahead and open it up for some Q&A before we wrap. Okay. Oh, there's a lot here, Tom. Let's see. Can this produce a multi-page PDF from a Salesforce report?
So in order to use the document generation step, everything must start with a form. So we're data collection and we would open a form. That could mean that you could use something in Salesforce that would open the first form, pre-fill the data. You then submit that to then move it on to this document generation step, which can then pass back the generate document to your Salesforce.
Thank you very much. And let's see, there's another good one in here. How do we send it to Salesforce? That's a great question. Okay, I'll pass it over to Tom, but there's a couple of different ways. I think what you're asking for is how to attach the PDF to Salesforce. But what's great about FormAssembly is again, this connected scenario where you can send the response data to Salesforce and a number of other applications, and then attach the PDF to where you want it to. Is that right? That's right, Tom, right? I want to make sure I verify and said that right.
Yep, you can send the generated document over to Salesforce. You'll be able to, I'm sure there was a session earlier on today that showed a new Salesforce connector for the workflow that allows you, even on, within the workflow, that will allow you to upload the file that's been generated. So the document you generate, you can easily send back to the record or any record that you want to relate it to with the connector step in workflow for Salesforce.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, okay. There's a lot of questions about cost of the new Salesforce workflow connector, so I can field that. The upgrade connector is going to be available as part of the Salesforce add-on at no additional cost. So if you already have the Form Native Salesforce connector and a plan that includes workflow, you're gonna have access. Let's see, another one. When will the new Salesforce Workflow Connector be released? Next week. Be on the lookout for all. Let me start over. Be on the lookout for in-app and email communication that we're going to send to everybody to announce when it's live. Again, that is going to be next week. Let's see. Not a question, but really excited about this. Thank you very much. That's awesome. Okay, another one is, okay, what's going to happen to my existing Salesforce connectors? Okay, so your existing Form Native Salesforce connectors are going to remain untouched. You can begin using the Workflow Native connector at any time following the release, but you won't be required to migrate at this time. You'll still be able to create the new Form Native Salesforce connector should you wish, right? Yeah, yes, that's true. But we hope that the upgrades you demonstrated today will encourage you to begin utilizing the new Workflow Native connector. Okay, so that's a great question. Uh, so no, thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, so file. Will we be able to compile uploaded PDFs into a single PDF?
So you won't be able to compile PDFs into PDFs, but you would have your final PDF, let's say, with all the information you need at the end of your flow. And you can take any information from any part of the workflow and insert it. So even with with the new pairing it with the new Salesforce connector as well, you can pull information in and you don't necessarily need to add that to the form. They can be stored in variables, and those variables you can add anywhere in the flow. So that can also be used in your document that's going to be generated. So if you do have 4 different documents being generated throughout, you can still take the same information that you put on those into the very final copy, which will be everything added together.
Perfect. That's awesome.
And I see one in there as well. Is it possible to add signature component? Currently, we do not allow for signature, but it is in the works. It's already being actively worked on, and so I guess the cool kids will say, watch this space because it's coming very soon.
Okay. As their cheat sheet, if you will, with frequently used field aliases to be used in the document. For example, I have a field that needs a name to be pulled. If I have no knowledge of coding, is there a place I can learn that code? Oh, that's a great question. So I always love to tout our help documents. So Tom, did I read that one too fast?
Yeah, sorry, what was that one?
Yeah, sorry. There's a cheat sheet with the frequently used field aliases, and so there's a great that's live right now, or in our help documents. Right, I'd encourage you to leverage our support team, which is going to be one of our slides here. And if you go there, a lot of questions for how to utilize this are going to be in our knowledge base, which is accessible to everybody at help.formassembly.com. You can access that in app or within or from our website. And of course, we love product feedback or any questions there. You can contact us in any of the groups through our webpage contact form. Oh yeah, where can you find documentation? Yep. Videos for specific use cases. That's a good one. Let's follow up with you on that one. Definitely, again, leverage the knowledge base. You will see some example videos there, and actually, this is a good chance to talk about our YouTube channel. Our YouTube channel is also excellent for a lot of product demonstrations, for a lot of use cases, and for sharing how our other partners and customers are leveraging our tools. Okay, is this available for all packages? We covered that. Yes. Limits. Okay, good. That's a good one. Thank you very much. So limits, we can cover limits. 250 on our team plan, 1,000 on our enterprise plan. Please reach out to your account manager if you're interested in purchasing more. Good question. Great question. How would we configure the connector to send and attach a document to a record in Salesforce? That's great. That is all in our workflow engine. And so you can specify within the connector step how you want it not only to go into Salesforce, but where you want to attach the record to what object, what object and what record. So it's all in the workflow connector. Again, really what we were aiming for here was one single consistent user interface, and I'm confident that we accomplished that. And I know that because I can use it. And I think that's it. That's pretty much I got. Tom, can you see anything else in here? And then I promise I will share a follow-up slide, and for any questions that I might have missed in the chat, First of all, thank you so much for engaging with us. This is fantastic. But we promise to get back to you with any questions that we either weren't able to answer live Q&A to make sure that you get the attention that you deserve. You got anything else, Tom?
Sorry, no, I was just answering some of the questions that we were unable to get to at the moment. But no, I think we're all good here. Hopefully, everyone enjoyed the demonstration to let you see what is possible with the new document generation step. It's, like I mentioned, very powerful for using your own branding where previously that wasn't possible. Customized responses now, you can use your own sort of layout and insert the data where needed. Use data that wasn't necessarily on the form to be in that you've maybe pulled from Salesforce and other sources. So yeah, glad to, hopefully everyone enjoyed that.
Okay, excellent. Okay. I'll leave it for a little bit more. And then again, we will make sure to follow up with you. And so I'm going to go ahead and move on to before you go. So really it was a preview of all the questions that you had all just asked, right? So please reach out to us, request a demo FormAssembly to learn more about this feature. Anybody on our team is happy to really understand what you're trying to solve for. And then we can together build a proof of concept that hopefully will prove out, our solution in helping you. So request a demo, and then again, talk to a rep about upgrading your account to get access to what we've shown today. They're also well versed in answering any questions as it relates to the investment required, what it would take to get everything on there, any enablement questions, any training questions. I highly encourage you to leverage that. All right, and then, again, thank you for joining us today. I'll start using today on all workflows, and I really hope that you all enjoy the rest of the sessions. I've seen a number of them very, very useful, and I want to take this time to say thank you very much to the community. Thanks to the community for joining us. We don't get these ideas unless we get the feedback from you. Quite candidly, a lot of the things that I hear about were born out of people asking questions about partners saying, hey, I've seen this, and look at what I built. So if you're interested in participating, please reach out to us, or if you have any ideas or anything that can spark a great dialogue, we're more than welcome to have that, and we appreciate the engagement. Tom, you got anything else to add?
No, just echoing what you said. Thank you very much, everyone, for attending this. And yeah, we look forward to answering any questions further down the line and you all utilizing the tool.
Thanks. Yeah, hope this was useful. All right.